everybody, James Simmers here, Culinary Arts Instructor at Moraine Park Technical College, here with another cooking video. Fun one today, one of my favorite ingredients I'm going to be speaking about. What would life be without garlic? Okay, it's one of my favorite things to add to food. When I cook for myself, I tend to use a lot of it. I even enjoy eating it raw. I'll talk about a little bit about that in a few minutes. But just I want to go over some of the basic types of garlic that you might find in any kitchen or at any grocery store. First, before I get to the fresh garlic, there's two others here, and I don't know how well you can see them. Looks like pretty good. We have garlic powder, okay, and you can see I only buy the very expensive brand. Garlic powder is good for a few things, okay. It's great for a rub. If you're going to be rubbing directly on to mix it into another rub. If you're going to make another seasoning like a Cajun seasoning or something that you want to rub on fish or roast beef or turkey or whatever the case might be. It's good in rubs. Don't use this when a recipe calls for fresh garlic. A couple of reasons why. It's pretty highly processed, which means a lot of the flavor is gone out of it. You get it in, like I said, the seasonings and that in the rubs, but you just don't get it when you add it to, say, a tomato sauce or a marinara sauce, something like that, okay? So this is good, and I have some in my kitchen, but just use it sparingly. The other type of garlic that's in a lot of kitchens is jarred garlic, and this is all pre-minced for you and everything, all ready to go, and all you do is you just open it up and spoon it into whatever. Particularly if you want to ruin what you're making, because this is where I normally store this. That's my garbage can right there, okay? Don't buy that stuff. The reason is just by the canning method and the jarring process and that garlic is cooked and it's lost at least 70% of its flavor. And when you can eat it like right out of the jar, and you can, it's really not worth it. It's not worth the price. It's packed in water, which makes it even weaker. So I really try to avoid that stuff at all costs. So let's talk about the real garlic here. Two primary kinds. There's hundreds of different kinds of garlic, but they fall into two categories. It's a hard neck and soft neck, okay? Whoops, pointed the wrong ones. This is soft neck. Right here is soft neck, okay? Whole bulbs, really what you usually get at the grocery store. As garlics go, a relatively milder flavor. If you really don't like intense spicy food, then this is going to be just fine for you. If you want to go and do something a little bit different, I don't have any whole bulbs, but this was grown by my friend and colleague, Tom Endion. He's the baking instructor at Moraine Park as well, and he grows his own garlic, and this is the hard neck. Like I said, I don't have any bulbs to show you, but the primary difference is that the cloves tend to be bigger, and it's much stronger, much more intense. Now I'm not sure what kind he grew here, but I know that I love it. One thing I love about it too is that it has the bigger cloves, and the bigger cloves are actually a little bit easier to deal with. You don't have to peel as many and you get more out of it. So that's the hard neck, and I thank Tom because I just absolutely love this stuff, and I think he has a lot to spare. But let's do the soft neck, and let's talk more about this, because this is what you're going to get in the grocery store, okay? So one thing I don't like about it is the smaller cloves, because it just makes more work. So when I go to the store, I'll pick through garlic and look, and somebody actually asked me one time, what are you looking for, when you pick out garlic, because it all looks the same. It's basically dried and nothing to it. And I say I'm looking for big cloves because it just makes it easier. Flavor's going to be about the same, okay? Now, lots of other garlics. One that you'll see in the stores quite a bit is elephant garlic. That one's not bad at all, but it's much milder, just so you know. Now, if you do want the hard neck, there's a great place to go certain times of the year to get it, and that's farmers markets. I've seen all sorts of folks selling this at farmers markets, and I love to support those markets anyway, so that's perfect. So let me show you a few tricks about this and just really how easy it is to do a bulb of garlic and use it fresh, all right? First off, what I do, and you can use the back of a knife, and I hope you can see this. I think you can. Oh, moved it the wrong way. There we go. You can use the back of a knife, especially a big knife or something, and you can just push down like this, but please be really careful, because if you slip or something like that, you're going to hurt yourself, okay? So if you're more comfortable, use a big spatula. I just like to use my hand, and I put my weight down in it, and right as I push down, then I roll, okay? I just push it out a little bit. You'll see what happens is all this breaks up in the little cloves. Now again, soft neck, they're going to be, look at the difference. Here, let me show you a clove from the hard neck. Okay, look at the difference in these sizes. I don't know if you can see that real well, but big difference in the sizes. This stuff is so good. Easiest way to do this is to trim the ends first. A lot of people will try to break it and peel it with the ends on, but if you do that, what happens is it kind of wants to connect on there, all right? So I just cut both the ends off. We're going to do the same thing we did with the bulb. By the way, in case you don't know, bulb, clove. If you have a recipe that calls for 3 cloves of garlic and you add this thinking it's cloves, you're in big trouble. That's even too much garlic for me, Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our knife again, and this one's a little bit safer because it's not so wieldy, and we're just gonna crush it down. What you can see there is that we've gotten that peel completely off. It's ready to use, okay? So that was really, really simple. Some people will like after this point, or even with the peel on the clove, to use a, what's that thing, garlic press, okay? And I really don't like those because garlic is fairly delicate. It's, I shouldn't say delicate, obviously not in flavor, but it's fragile, okay? A lot of things will affect its flavor. If you mince it really, really fine, I tend to think that that takes some of the flavor away from it, okay? And it has to do with the enzymes and science that I'm not going to get into, but it does. I like to cut mine a little bit more coarser, okay? So when I cut it, I'll just mainly, and go back to our cutting video if you want to see more about this, I'll just cut like super thin slices of it, like that. And then instead of, when you chop like that, you'll notice there's like a little bit of a yellow stain on your cutting board. You know, that's part of the flavor, and we don't want to lose that. So I'll just do these real thin slices like that. You want to basically process it as little as possible, okay? So again, just little tiny slices. And the reason the garlic press doesn't work is because it smashes it, and it also really jams it into that metal of the garlic press, and I just think it really takes away from the flavor. You know, if you have a problem with your hands or using a knife, it certainly is better than using garlic powder or that junk that we threw away. So, you know, you don't have to do it all, but so if that's easier for you, go ahead. But I did show you, I mean, just even if you look, and we can do a few more, let's do one of the hard neck. And if we just push down, this one's a little bit harder to break because it's bigger, but the peel comes off easier. So, and here's another little trick. See, I didn't even cut the ends off that one, I forgot. Another little trick too, if you happen to have a deep fryer and it's going, if you take these cloves, the little cloves, put them in the basket, drop them in the deep fryer for 10 seconds, and pull them out, let them cool. They won't hardly be hot at all, but let them cool. They'll pop right out of these skins. It basically burns the skin off the inside. You lose a little bit of flavor from the outside of the garlic, so I wouldn't do it with super tiny cloves, but if you got some bigger cloves, go ahead and do it. But as I said, this is one of my favorite ingredients to cook with, and it's so versatile. We've even tried it in desserts and that, and we once made a garlic ice cream, which didn't turn out so much as a dessert, but it was delicious as a salad dressing. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. So if you have any things you want to do with it, or if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with me at jsimmers@morainepark.edu. I'd love to hear your ideas or take any of your questions. Until next time, we'll see you again. I'm James Simmers, Culinary Arts Instructor from Moraine Park Technical College. See ya.